I want to talk about something that I've been really thinking about lately because it just kind of came to my head. I think about what, a week or two ago, this thing just came to my head. And I was thinking, okay, this is something that many people don't think much about. People want to talk about freedom rights, right? You want to talk about your freedom of speech and your rights. But one thing a lot of people, it's not the fact they don't talk much about this very little thing. It's the fact that there's no respect and no love for this. And that's freedom of expression. It's kind of funny because when you go back to freedom of speech, it's kind of like how no one actually understands like what freedom of expression, like what freedom no no freedom of speech is like this. Like freedom of speech is actually even having to actually deal with hearing things you don't like. A lot of people don't want anything to do with that part. They think they can get around that part. I mean, the moment you actually try to dance around the part, the moment is no longer freedom of speech. Yeah, yes, there's consequences to what you say, but that's not the same as not be able to say it at all in the name of political correctness, is what I'm trying to say. I mean, because political correctness is political correctness is overarching, and I'm going to get into that a little more later. But besides that, it's kind of like then you got in the other corner freedom of expression. Freedom of expression is actually having to deal with people who express themselves in ways you may not like. This goes into the fact that we live in a very, very repressed, I wouldn't even say society, because a lot of places around the world, especially in urban places, so-called civilized organizations, civil, that's debatable, very, very debatable. But I mean, I question, is this even civil? But I'm not going to go there. But anyways, it reminds me of how more and more and more and more we're being boxed and put into a box, and how we're being restricted. And one of the things I've been attacked for maybe hundreds and hundreds of years is our sense of expression, to express ourselves in the way we are based on who we are deep down. There's a reason why in my videos you see me express myself a certain way. Unlike other people, I'm not going to sit here and try to censor myself. I'm just going to be out and just say how it is. And more people should be that way too. Because people have these perceptions thinking that if you talk about topics involving spirituality or self-improvement, oh, no, 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 we can't express ourselves that way. No, 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 it doesn't work that way. You have to understand that certain people are going to put out the messages a certain way because this is how they are. If people have many people have been through the fire, have been through a lot of crap in their life, right? You're of course, be expressing yourself a certain way. You know, I mean, I can care less if you're turned off by the way I put things out, because I'm not going to change that. Hi, there's freedom of expression. That's an example of freedom of expression right there. And this goes into the fact that it starts with childhood. You know, it starts with childhood. It's funny because it's a weird coincidence, because today I was reading a little bit of the book called The Four Agreements. And in the first part of the book, it was talking about how these things actually start with childhood, right? And all these rules and expectations is programmed into the child and everything and all that. Because in this book it was talking about how, yeah, this whole world and this whole life is a dream, and there's the rules of the dream and blah 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 blah. Yeah, but it's funny because to read this book at the current stage I am now, and I'm like, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Because if the average fool in the street tries to read it, they're gonna go, "What is this? What is this? No." But seriously though, besides that, because I was thinking of this before I even read the book today. I was thinking about this, and I go, wait a minute here. This is exactly the problem. The fact that this is where freedom of expression goes to die. It's when societal expectations and programs, all these unwritten rules, all these bullshit rules and regulations, and these little mandates. Have you noticed that it's how encroaching have been coming over the years? They're doing it more and more and more and more. They tell you it's for your own good and your own health, but in reality, no, it's to restrict you. They're trying to destroy your freedom of expression. And that's something we need to pay attention to. the fact that there's a destruction of that going on. And quite frankly, the population is not innocent either. They're just as guilty. And I understand, and they're doing this out of ignorance, by the way, not knowing what they're doing. You know, I mean, because of the fact that we live in a world where the child as they grow up, they're told, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't think this way, you can't think that way. You got to do it this way. This is the proper way of doing it. Oh, don't even start with the schooling system, where they're notorious for the you do it this way mentality. I have stories about that, personal stories about that one, but what I'm trying to say is, I always hated that when I was a kid. When I was a kid, oh, you got to do it this way. You got to do it that way. Especially if they don't give you a logical reason to do it a certain way. Then he told you just because or whatever, or because this is how it is. I have like strong disrespect for that type of mentality that it's that way because it's that way. I've always been passive aggressive when it comes to dealing with authority. Because if I was outright aggressive, I would not. I realize you have to play the game a little. Because if you don't, you're going to be in. See, that's the problem with this world in general. Because if you just outright just rebel against the system outright, then the system will punish you. Punishment is often shaming, guilt tripping, and ridicule, being ostracized, and worst of, in one of the worst of all, being homeless. Because that's the thing about it. Because deep down, I've always been a rebel. You know what I mean? Against societal bullshit norms. Because my code of policy is do no harm. The only rule is treat others the way you want to be treated. And that doesn't call for the people that want to be treated like shit. Because they treat others like shit. And they think they deserve it and they hate themselves so much. So don't be a smart ass and say, what about the people out there that want to treat themselves like shit? No, that doesn't count. Those people need to be dealt with differently. But what I'm trying to say is, don't go around doing things to others you don't want done to you. Like I don't try to do things to others I don't want done to me. I mean, seriously. I don't play that game. I mean, that's the only rule I live by. That's like literally the only rule I live by. Don't harm other people. Don't be a dick, and be respectful to people. That's the thing about it. Treat others the way they treat you, in other words. That's the only simple rule I always have lived by. So it always pisses me off in society where people are told you can't do this or do that, and they try to stop you physically from doing it. And they will, and in extreme cases, if as an adult, they will throw you in a cage and all that stuff. It's insane. It's like that because that ties right into moral relativism. The idea where people actually think morals is based on their personal preference and taste, or what makes them feel good and what doesn't. I don't know about you, but do you understand that moral relativism is actually huge in Satanism? It's just a thought. Just a thought. I mean, that's not conjecture. It's real. I mean, think about it. I mean, I'm trying to say is that maybe you need to reevaluate the ways you think, because some of the ways you think may be based on the principles of inversion. This is what I'm trying to say. I mean, if Satanism actually is like that, that makes you really think, yeah, maybe we need to start rethinking, because people need to stop actually trying to behave in the image of their masters, the image of these psychopaths that you worship as your dear leaders. Maybe something to think about. I don't know. I mean, have you ever thought of this? How many people ever think of these things? Because I introspect all the time. I'm introspecting right now. I always introspect. But a lot of people don't introspect. There's people out there that have never introspected once in their lives. And that's the insane thing about it. They never sat down with themselves and thought about how they got here. Like, why do you think the things they think? They never do these things. This comes natural to me, but literally people are incapable of doing it, which is insanity to me. Which is why we're in this boat now where freedom of expression has always been under attack for a long ass time. And it feels like it's gotten to a point where it's gotten us very, very stifled. But you know why there's been so much attack on freedom of expression? Because this goes into the fact that on a soul level, this is also tied to creativity and imagination. And imagination is one of the most powerful tools that a human being has. Imagination. A lot of people don't understand that. where manifestation happens. The law of mentalism, which is a universal law, comes into play. Mentalism is when all things start in the mind. Think about that. All things start in the mind. Think about that. That's where creation starts. That's where it all starts. Everything starts with a thought. Then you start imagining it. Then you try to manifest it through whatever means, whether it be through intention, action world, the 3D world. You normally have to do both, but sometimes you only have to just think it. But sometimes it may require physical action. It depends on what you're trying to manifest and the difficulty of that manifestation. Because manifesting certain things may take longer because you have to get the universe to arrange the situation and to move things around for it to happen, which is why it can take a while. It depends on what you want to manifest. I mean, it really depends. Because that's where all this attack is coming from. Coming from the powers that shouldn't be, through their little rules and regulations and mandates. Have you noticed there's always, every single day, there's a new mandate, a new rule, and especially a lot of the unwritten rules. That ties into political correctness. And oh boy, I really need to actually slap political correctness upside its face a bunch of times. Oh my goodness, I am gonna I have to do something with political correctness. I don't know if I want to write about it or just rant about it, because political correctness is a huge part of why we live in a society where everybody is so easily offended. And this ties to how, because of the fact people are easily offended, I shouldn't express myself a certain way. I shouldn't say these words. Why is it that we have to be responsible for other people's triggers? That's their trauma. That's their inner work. Now, I'm sorry about that. That shows where your inner work lies. If my presence to you is offending you, that's your problem, not mine. There's something I'm triggering within you. You need to look look deep in the mirror. Or maybe it's because of the fact you're not used to listening to people who tell how it is. Used to people out there that sugarcoat everything for you. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I'm not responsible for how you feel about me and how I express myself and what I say, what comes out of my mouth. I understand that you have to be respectful. And it's not like I'm going around and personally attacking anybody, because that's not what it's about. I might be calling people out. I may be criticizing them. But some people perceive that as a personal attack. And it's quite telling, actually, because there's people out there that literally do perceive it as a personal attack. Because that tells you where their minds are. And they're literally actually saying to you unconsciously that I'm taking this personally, what I'm saying. Or, things I'm saying, or anyone else. Because I'm not responsible for your triggers. That's you and your problem. I don't sit here and actually get upset if someone hits one of my triggers. I don't get upset. I said, that's my problem. I got to deal with that shit. That's what I do. See, and this goes into how, like I said, political correctness is actually making it seem like if you express yourself a certain way and you say these certain things, you're going to be labeled this, you're going to be labeled a sexist, you're going to be labeled a racist. And it's like, what the hell is this shit? You can't express yourself. It's getting to the point, like I said, a lot of people don't understand that this encroachment. People are not seeing it. They're blind to the encroachment. And that is very troubling. And not only troubling, but super frustrating. Because of the fact that apparently they have never run into that wall before. They never or that situation in their lives, That's the reason why I always say to myself, if people negatively react to what you say and want to try to censor and silence you and all that, if that happens, don't do nothing. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. Because you're dealing with a bunch of children who are mentally destroyed in the mind. And been softened and they've been softened like a boiled egg. That's the thing about it. These people are really under heavy, serious mind control. I'm telling you, because society has programmed them to be that way. They've been programmed. See, when you're growing up, you're programmed to be offended to this, that, and the other over there. And I've come to realize that why should I be offended? Because he said this word or that word. I'm like, why? I still ask, why? Who cares? It's just a word, It's It's kind of like how I'm supposed to be they saying I'm supposed to be offended by this word. Do I have to mention an example word again? I mean, it's that absurd racial insult, jigaboo. And I'm supposed to be offended by that, which is the dumbest word I've ever heard in my life. That makes you want to laugh. Jigaboo, jigaboo. That's the dumbest word. It's absurd racial insult, and I'm like, that's an insult? Man, that sounds like shit. It's kind of like how you hear in a foreign language and they're insulting you in that language, but because you don't understand it, you go, huh? I mean, I don't understand. It's funny how people in their other language think they're funny by some people will try to insult you in this foreign language, and you're like, huh? And they laugh at you because you don't understand what I said, but yeah, that's the problem because your words are nonsense because the words are only as powerful as the meaning we give them. That's the thing about it. Yes. So if you want to get into the occult meaning behind words, you can talk about how certain words have power behind them because of the vibrational tone. I get it, but that's not what we're talking about here, because I understand that certain words have power because of the vibrational tone behind the words. If you want to get into the occult aspect of words, I get it, but still, that's not the point here. Point is that besides that, words are words, because we're not talking about ritual magic here, Then again, you can argue people are casting ritual magic on themselves by saying certain words every single day and not knowing the real meaning behind it on a vibrational level. I mean, you can get onto all that, but even then, I'm not an expert on the subject of that. It's just something I just know. But I don't know where I even got that from or picked that up from. I've read so many articles over the last 10 plus years that I don't know where I even got it from, but and stuff and blah blah blah. But what I'm trying to say is that we need to be wary of this. I mean, freedom of expression has always been under attack, but it's gotten to the point where, okay, it just hit me like a light one day. When I was coming home from work, I'm on the train, riding home, and I'm like, and then it's like, and I see this kid I didn't want to wear his or her mask. I don't blame that kid. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you tell him. I'm like, trying to put these kids, trying to make these kids wear these damn masks. So you got to be kidding me. Kidding me. Even in this, even here where I live, it's like even kids under the age of 12 when you have to wear them, and they're making their kids wear that shit. It got to the point where the kid is like, nah, I don't blame him because like you're trying to suffocate the poor thing over something that's been so wholly exaggerated, And along with the fact that I love how at the end, like when they left, like one of them threw the mask down on the ground. Oh, this is the other kid though. Like these because you're trying to force these kids into these ridiculous world, this dream world, this fucked up dream. Now we're trying to muzzle our kids. Yeah, I know. And people think this is all good because, it's in the name of safety and health. Yeah, that's what they say about a lot of things that they make us do that's fucked up. And that's actually really not good for you. It's for your health. It's for your own good. It's for the common good. And social collectivism can go kiss my ass. Political correctness can go kiss my ass. But back to social collectivism here, because that's what this is. Social collectivism, because this, quite frankly, social collectivism is the idea of sacrificing the individual for the greater good of the sacrificing the greater good. Fuck that. Let me re-say that again. Sacrificing yourself or the individual for the sake of the group. Yeah, that's what it is. It's it's crazy. It's super, super crazy. I don't even know where to begin with that one. But what I'm trying to say is that people should be able to express themselves in ways they want to, as long as they're not causing any malicious intent of harm to other people. That's why I've come to realize that a lot of people, especially adults, are super suppressed. That's the reason why a lot of adults actually have all this shame, all this guilt, all these limiting beliefs and fears because as you grow up, it gets programmed to you by society. When you're growing up, it's not just the other adults, but the kids too. other around them that will bully them or make fun of them for their likes and tastes growing up. And I really hate that one. It's like to people out there that judge others for their likes and tastes, man, you know what I want to do? I want to take this monitor and just smack you and smash it upside your head. Okay, maybe not literally, but but seriously, to all those people out there who like to judge others for their likes and tastes, all I have to say is, you know what? You can go smell my foot. You can go smell my foot. Okay, maybe not, because there's people out there that got a fetish for that. So no, instead of smell my foot, no, I'm just gonna just tell you to just no. I'm just gonna just shove my. No, I'm just gonna just shove my foot up your up your solar plexus. Yeah, yeah. What I'm trying to say is that's one of the worst things right there. People out there that judge others for their likes, dislikes, and tastes. I don't talk about much about this to other people because it's like, why should I? It's like I have no reason to. Yeah, when I was growing up, I've always had a little bit of a weird side to me, but a lot of people don't know that because I know how to. I don't know, because when you're out in the 3D world so much, you know how to adjust yourself to what you need to adjust yourself to the 3D world around you. But other than that, I got a weird side of me. That I've never actually really show anybody. Even myself. I mean, we all got, I got my own weird taste in likes and stuff myself. I just hate it when I grow up. I have to deal with people who judge you for that. And I look back at that and I'm like, man, you can all go fuck yourselves. That's all I have to say about that. I mean, that's where the beginning. That's the beginning of one of the many beginnings of stifling of your expression. You know, which in turn hurts your creativity. You know what's worse about that? The fact that the things that you want to express yourself in the world of being creative, people don't decide not to express certain things in that realm because they realize that, oh, people aren't going to like that, or I'm not going to be able to monetize that. Yeah, YouTube is a good example of that. You can't express yourself certain ways anymore on YouTube. You can't do that anymore. You can't, oh, because they're going to demonetize me, or I'm running the risk of getting flagged by some troll, asshole, dickhead. Because it's gotten so bad that on YouTube, someone can just flag you just because they don't like your content and say, oh, it offends me. That's how bad it has gotten. And to all those people out there that do those things, oh my goodness, I really hope there's a special place somewhere for you, for people like that. That they deserve some kind of punishment for that. I say the people in society that deserve to get punished are the ones who actually try to restrict restrict creator beings and sovereign beings alike. Well, they're both. They're the same thing, though. Those who actually are of creativity, those who want to express themselves in the ways that makes their heart those who want to actually express themselves in the ways that makes their soul sing. And those who actually try to get in the way of that singing, oh man, those people deserve to get smacked. I'm telling you. I mean, I think I could go on and on about it, but like I said, it also ties back to the fact that it's also an orchestrated plan that's been underway for a long time, because it's about limiting you and putting more limits on you. They're trying to put you in the box. You know how to contain a powerful creator being? By making it conform to various different rules and regulations and mandates. And you do it through trickery or through corrosion and violence. Because in society, you may face violence from authority. That's the thing of many. You may face violence from authority if you don't do it sometimes. Or if it's not the case of authority, it's other people in society who got the weapons of ridicule and mockery. Or actually shaming and talking bad about you. Or in extreme cases, they may character assassinate you. And character assassinations suck because it's like hey, I have to learn how to not try to take all these things personally or people personally, but sometimes it's hard not to because they try to make it about you, and it's like, how am I supposed to do something about that? So why is it that people want to sit here and dwell on rights all the time, but why can't we just talk about freedom of expression? Freedom of expression gets no respect. It gets no respect whatsoever. And that needs to change. It has to change. On the road to freedom, it has to change. If we're all about personal sovereignty, it has to change. And one more thing before I think I'm done. People need to understand, I'm going to repeat this over and over again because there's always that one new person watching your shit, watching your videos. So only that one new person. So that's why I have to repeat myself over and over again. And that is the fact that when we talk about things such as spirituality and all that stuff, being spiritual is really about getting back to who you are at the very core. It's about shedding. A lot of people don't understand that spirituality is supposed to be about shedding all the programs and beliefs that were given to you by society. Yeah, you didn't think that. Because that's the thing about it. You have to shed these things. Yeah, of course, the people who buy into organized religion are going to go, huh? Well, I'm sorry, but that's just the truth of the matter. Nothing personal about your belief system. That's the truth of the matter. Nothing personal. But that's the thing. It's about shedding all beliefs, whether it be secular or religious, and questioning them. Yes, I understand religions have some truth in them, but it's not about rethinking everything. You've been told that's truth. That's a lot of people don't understand the point of this on a spiritual path and journey is to get back to who you are at the core. Because once you do that, you'll be able to do amazing things. Or come to realizations and insights about yourself, the universe, and everything else in between. A lot of people don't know that. Spirituality is really just getting back to who you are. To understand your power as a creator being as well. Who creates through imagination. And that thought is connected with imagination. A lot of people don't understand that you're creating things all the time. You don't even know it. You're a powerful creator being, but through all these limitations that were imposed to you through a lot of force and through trickery and violence throughout history, yeah, that's why we're all restricted and stiffer than a stick up our asses. That's the thing about it. People don't see this. That's why it's time for people to start talking about this more. Talking about our freedom of expression that's been under attack. It's time to claim it back. That's what it's about. We need to reclaim our freedom of expression. We can talk about rights all day until we turn all sorts of colors in the face, but until we not talk about freedom of expression, I don't want to hear it no more. The same people that want to talk about our rights are often guilty of guilty of stifling other people's freedom of expression just because they don't like the way they express themselves or what they say. How about you actually stop it with the political correctness and get out of there? Stop it with the political correctness. Stop it with the Puritan mindsets. Because Puritanism is more than just about the sex thing, right? More about the fucking thing. It's more about it's more of a way of life too, right? My attitude is like, if you live that way and you're happy with it, cool. Just don't impose it on me. I mean, if you really are happy with that way, because I understand that some people need to live a certain way. I get it for their own sake. But don't impose that shit on me because one size don't fit all. Even though I don't directly impose any ways of living on people, I do tell people that don't cross my lane and I won't cross yours. Respect other people's paths. As long as their paths aren't promoting anything dangerous or erroneous or harming themselves or harming others. That's all I have to say about that. But for now, I think that's about it. If anyone want more information, I have a blog. It's in the leak. I mean, I got stuff on there on the website and more. The reason why I do this is because I just want to express myself. At this point, I just want to express myself. I don't care what reaction is going to get anymore. Because at first, when I started out, I was kind of nervous. I was kind of like, and I was like, long story short is that I've learned that I can't take whatever people say personally if something bad is said to me. I have to learn how to kind of negate that, but still learning because I'm new to this at the time of this video. But I just do this because I just want to express myself and say things that people don't want to say or people have never thought of saying, But I got my blog in the link. If anyone wants more, if you want to read more of the stuff, you have to understand the information I put out is from a perspective or that will make you rethink things. I just want people to start expressing themselves and start looking at things from a different angle. Stop looking at things based on the old official narratives, because the official narratives are quite frankly bullshit. You know, start really truly thinking for yourself. How about that? So there you go. I hope that's it. Because I always meant to say something else, and boom, oh, you aren't supposed to say that. I mean, not what the fuck I'm saying. I was supposed to say that, but I forgot to say that. I'm just, normally I edit these videos, but it's just unfiltered today. Because I feel like being unfiltered. I feel like just being myself. I feel like being the real me. I just want to show you the real, uncut, raw me. I've been showing you that, but I just want to show you that more and more. So all I have to say is, you better buckle up tight, because it's only going to get tougher, rougher. It's from a street spiritual, wise perspective. My message. I just want people to see it that way and start expressing this to other people. We need to start talking more about that freedom of expression problem, about the fact that we're being suppressed. And as adults, that's why so many adults are so damn suppressed in the way they express themselves in all sorts of avenues in life. Man, it's like, what? It's been 30 minutes? It didn't feel like 30 minutes. I've been going on and on about this because I guess this is something that has really been bothering me for so long. For God, probably since my teenage years has been bothering me. But man, oh man, I can go on and on, but that should be it for now.